So, I want to talk today about the self doubt that can come up when we're helping to make decisions, whether it's decisions on how much we help, how we help, or decisions on actual medical necessities for your loved one. So, let's talk about self doubt to begin with. What is self doubt? Well, self-doubt is a lack of confidence. It's questioning yourself in whether you're doing what you're doing, whether it is right? You're judging your own decisions. Have you recently asked yourself questions like, should I increase my visits? Should I begin cooking for them? Should I go to the doctors for them? Should I help them pay bills? If you are thinking about those things, then you're noticing that something is changed and that they're not necessarily making good decisions, or maybe they're not making decisions at all. And you may be experiencing some self doubt about actually stepping in because maybe your loved one is really reluctant to accept the help. Right? They see it as a way of giving up their independence. And so, they shy you away. They might even argue with you, right? They don't want to admit that they might need or could use some help. And even though accepting help might allow them to have independence a little bit longer, sometimes it's really hard for them to see that. Assistance isn't taking away all of the independence, it's allowing them to be independent. So, becoming more involved can sort of feel like dipping your toe in a pool full of ice water, right? One day it warms up quickly and you're fine, right? They accept your help, they allow you to do some things, everything is copacetic. But then there are those days when you feel like you can't jump out of that ice water fast enough. They're angry, they're agitated, they're yelling at you, and they might even be belittling you, right? All in that fight for independence. That's that resistance that you're coming up against, right? So, how can you measure your degree of involvement? Well, you can check your self judgment about that. And so I come to you today with questions to ask yourself that can help you stay grounded in knowing if you're doing the right thing, right? If you're headed in the right direction to help your loved one. Are the decision you're about to make in the best interest of your loved one? And really, what we're doing here is we're asking ourselves, am I being self-serving? That's what we're asking ourselves. So here's an example. Are you stepping in to provide food periodically? Whether you're going to them and you're cooking for them, whether you're taking them some food that's already made. Maybe you are a caregiver from afar. Maybe you don't live in the same town or even the same state. And maybe you're helping getting them hooked up to Meals on Wheels and they're reluctant to do that. Or maybe you've looked into some of the mail order opportunities to provide food like HelloFresh and Blue Apron. They provide food. Those you have to actually make. So you still have to be able to be cooking and using the utensils and the oven and all of that. But there are mail order food subscriptions out there which come already made and you just have to pop them in the microwave. And so you can ask yourself, am I doing this right for the best interest of my loved one? Have you noticed that they're not eating, that they're getting thinner? Some of the cognitive decline can be as simple as hydration, not getting enough water or not getting enough nutrients. How about this one? Are you deciding that maybe more chores around the house need to be done, that they can't do them themselves, your loved one? And maybe you're looking at lawn care, snow removal. We're coming up into the winter season as I'm recording this. Mm, You know, are you doing that for them or are you doing that for yourself? And if your first instinct is, well, I could do it if I had time, well, if you could pay somebody to do it, you're still caring for your loved one. You're providing the service that is helping them. This was a huge point of contention with my father. He always did the lawn care himself. He had his little John Deere. He would go out there, but it wasn't really in his best interest. He could get hurt doing it. My father had lung cancer. He was on oxygen. Carting an oxygen tank on the mower on a hillside, not the best decision. How about this one? Are you offering to help bathe them? Are you helping to prevent slips and falls and injury? Right? So when you're doubting yourself and they're putting up a fight that, they haven't bathed in a week and you're trying to get them to bathe and they're arguing with you and you think to yourself, should I even be doing this? Should I just let them go? You get to decide, am I doing this for their own good? Is if them not having a bath or a shower today, is that going to change things for them? And if you say no, then okay. But if a month has gone by, a week has gone by, a month, a long time has gone by, now you think about it and you think, maybe it is not good for them to go without bathing. Now we might have a sore. Now we might have, they're scratching, their skin is dry. There might be other problems that arise because of that. How about this one? Do you plan to paint the living room blue? Is that going to help them? Or is that just a change of color because you're tired of seeing cream on the walls? Or how about completely landscaping the front yard? Is that going to help them? Maybe it will. Maybe it's something that they always dreamed of having. Or maybe you are just tired of seeing the bushes a certain way. We're talking landscaping, not just taking care of it. So, this is just one of the 3 guiding questions to help keep us out of self-doubt. So, if you can come back and reflect when you are wondering if you're doing the right thing, ask yourself, are the decisions I'm about to make in the best interest of my loved one? And that will help ground you, right? It's that sort of subconscious check to make sure that we don't have judgment of ourselves. In the next 2 videos, I will talk about the 2 other questions you can ask yourself. Here they are. The second question to ask yourself is, will my loved one be hurt physically or financially if I do not step in? Okay, and finally, the last one. Will I be personally gaining anything as a result of the decision I'm about to make? I will be here for you, whether it is just to listen. I have listening sessions. Sometimes people just they'll sign up and they'll say, I just need to vent. I just can't believe this just happened. And they just share it all. And then we can talk about it. Once they get it out, they often want to talk about it. Sometimes they don't, and that's okay because they know that I've been there. No judgment. Many times, new clients, when they join the membership, they'll tell me after their first session with me, they'll say, I was really scared because I thought you were going to tell me all the things I was doing wrong. What's my first rule? There's no wrong way to care for your loved one. As a partner with you, we can look at caregiving in a lot of different lights and analyze it and sort of be a sounding board and think about different options. And you get to pick the options that work for you. I will partner with you and work with you through all of the things that happen in that journey called caregiving. I hope to be hearing from you very soon. Take care, my friend.